Welcome to Old Horse Racing All the Time. I'm Alan, your host. Road to the Kentucky Derby, one of the premier days. We're going to be talking about it. The Florida Derby. 15 winners of the Florida Derby have went on to win the Kentucky Derby. Geez, 15 winners. And we'll be joined by a guest racing analyst, but also an actor. Many of you know him from, if you're a Sopranos fan, as Robert Funaro. Robert is joining us tonight, and he played Eugene Pontecorvo from seasons 3 through 6 on The Sopranos. Here he is with also a good personal friend, James Gandolfini, Tony Soprano. They toured Scandinavia together doing Streetcar Named Desire, and went on again on The Sopranos together. And here we have Robert also in movies, one of them, The Irishman. Here he is with Robert De Niro in The Irishman. He's also appeared in television, Ray Donovan, recurring roles, also Law and Order. And also recently has authored a book, Homemade, 8 Sopranos Stories, 8 Homemade Recipes. That's available now, just recently out, an author. And now he has a movie that came out last year in the movies, and now it has been released in 2024, 2025, just released now on Amazon Prime. You can see that critical acclaim, A Legend in His Own Mind. And here he is joining us today, actor Robert Funaro. Robert, thanks for joining us. How you doing today?
Great, Alan. With that promo, that intro, I can go home now. I mean, I can shut this off. It's terrific. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here again. The Florida Derby, we've been talking about it, so here it is.
Tremendous. And Robert, if those of you who've seen the show here, the shows before, Robert, we've joined up as a team analyst for a number of big events over the last 4 years or so, and produced some tremendous winners between the two of us here. Those of you can go back, they're in the archives, you could watch them. And we're looking to follow up on that again tonight. Today. This is pre-recorded. And what we're going to do is this, before we jump into the racing, Robert, I do have a question, about this. Okay, the movie looks like it's right up. A great movie as far as A Legend in His Own Mind, critical acclaim. I know for a fact there's booze involved and gambling and call girls and a story of redemption. A great job on that. I'm looking forward to seeing it this weekend. Anything you want to? Can you tell us a little bit, just a little bit about the movie?
Sure. It did premiere at the Cinema Village during the summertime, and they finally got the green light to air it on Prime, Amazon Prime. And the film's about a filmmaker who gets a bad review, and his prior film, Vito Bonifaci, he got very good reviews in the New York Times. But when he gets this bad review for this film, he loses it in the sense he turns to drink, he turns to women, he leaves his wife, so he's on a downward spiral basically, and then he basically comes to God for healing, for redemption, to save his soul. He realizes which way he's going. I don't want to give too much away.
Of course not. Yeah, this sounds
it's a story about, of course, the film business, but also
I didn't realize it was about the film business. Now I'm even more intrigued.
Not a lot of that in there, but that's the premise of it, and not a lot of filming or seeing me film Johnny Boy, my character. But it is a story about redemption and coming to terms with oneself and lifting oneself up, so to say, from the bowels of despair by finding God. And he does, and well, I don't want to give too much of the movie, but that's
and dealing with the criticism and letting it get in the way, and tremendous.
The thing is, I think, if you were to say what the film's about, it is about pride. What pride does, pride mangles our perspective, and when we are hurt, our pride gets in the way, and it makes us do crazy things. It stirs our hearts. It makes us run away. Some people turn to drink. Some people turn to drugs or women, and uh,
It
it's
sounds like it's a relatable film already. I could relate to certain
art
parts.
is the major theme of what mankind happens to mankind in all aspects of ambitions. Um, and I think in order to find a common ground, if you're going to make it out of it, you have to kind of find the common ground of humility, to accept yourself for who you are in the scheme of things. We all no, not all of us can run under a 4-minute mile, or high jump 7, 8. Some of us,
Yeah.
maybe that us high jumping 5 feet is good enough. It's what we can do. So accepting who you are, so it's that's what it's
Valuable
about.
lessons there in this movie. It sounds like a great job. I'm looking forward to seeing it. And I do have a question. I got to go to your book again. The book just out, Homemade, 8 Soprano Stories, 8 Homemade Recipes. And some of these stories you mentioned, I'm in the process of reading it right now, and it's absolutely tremendous. Also, there's some tips for actors in this book as well, aspiring actors, or maybe people who are already acting already. So sharing his insights here on acting within this book, besides the recipes and the 8 stories from the Sopranos, and these recipes look just mouth-watering, tremendous, and they look like they're doable. Like you could actually make these from home, and they look absolutely delicious. But a question about the acting, Robert, I've always been amazed. You mentioned some of that in the book, and actors, how their ability to remember all these lines. It just seems like such a daunting task. And on top of that, turning around and combining it with making it real, doing the job, making it believable. So you're performing the lines, and you're also performing it with another person. So you got to be in harmony there. Just sounds so daunting to me, and very impressive. I've always been amazed by it. Do you have any tips or anything as far as memorizing lines, or something that might help an aspiring actor? You could tell us here before we get. What do you think? Good luck with that book. That's some book.
Thank you. The book is something that I was asked to do, to write a book, and I said, another recipe book by an actor. So how could I kind of bookmark it, so the way like bookmarks, give it a beginning and an end, and not have it so expansive. So I came up with the idea of the 8 stories, which are 8 episodes, how I got on the show, and couple that with the recipes. And first you get the recipe, and then the story. So it's interesting reading, and it's really easy reading. Some people say, I read it in one night, and it is. I'm not Milan Kundera or Tennessee Williams or Kurt Vonnegut. I mean, so I think it's the legacy of the homemade recipes that are easy to make, and of course the signature recipe, which is the Sunday sauce. I think people really will enjoy the Sunday sauce with the meatballs if they follow and it's really simple, and it feeds families for 6 or more. And you can get it at Amazon. Wow. Homemade Robert Funaro at Amazon, and I've got some good feedback from it. Now, repetition repetition helps for me in terms of learning lines. There's all different kinds of way to learn lines. When you're rehearsing in a play, you're going to rehearse. You can go home and do repetition with the lines, and then you go back the next day or for a week, 2 or 3 weeks, and you're, so to say, getting the lines inside your bones. You're kind of learning it. But when you have a screenplay, you're basically on your own. So you might have a partner to rehearse with, but you really got to sit down and learn them till you're sick of them. Once you've learned them, then you have to forget them, because they're secondary. Lines mean nothing. They mean that they're meaningless. It's our actions that have meaning in our life, who we are and what we want. And when you know what you want, what you're going for, then the lines are going to help you like a saw, cut through to the person's it was giving you an obstacle. You know, acting as a drama is about resistance. Someone has an idea, they want something, other person says no. That creates a drama. You know what I mean? On the water.
Mhm.
You know, Terry had to deal with his moral conscience. Should he do it? Should he not do it? Edie is a lot of complication, but basically, he starts out just surviving, but then he falls in love, and then he realizes that he has to make a choice, and he has to make the right choice, not make the choice of take the path of least resistance, which is to acquiesce to the wise guys, but to stand up to them, and that's what he does, and he survives it. You know, so it's repetition and getting it inside you and then forgetting about it because, as I said, it's like an alternating current. One current is knowing them and the other current is what you want. So you're using them to at the same time to get what you want, because life is based on what we want and what we need, you know.
Yeah, yeah, and I'll tell you what. When now I'm thinking of the auditions when you're saying that, and you've got chosen for this role. So somehow, who is it? The director, whoever put this together and makes the choices, they have the script, and then they look at the people auditioning, and they look at you and they say, yeah, this is the guy that can get the job done for this role, and it really makes the process. There's a lot going on behind the scenes that will make this all come together. And that's a fascinating look at the lines. Well, thanks
Yeah.
for sharing that with us, Robert.
You're welcome.
Okay, now we have 6 races. What we're going to be doing here, we're going to be covering the 6 races in the Rainbow Six. And of course, the crown jewel is the Florida Derby. So that's going to be, we're going to go in order, races 9 through 14, and 14, the Florida Derby. And what we're going to be doing here is touching on these races and giving you our selections that win contenders, really. We're not going to be talking so much really about exactas and trifectas for these races. We'll do that for the 14th race, the Florida Derby. But for the first 5 of them of the Rainbow Six, we're going to come up with some win contenders. And you can play this Rainbow Six for 20 cents. So we give you our key win contenders, who we think can get the job done. The horse looks really good, and we think, maybe he can come in third, make it a good trifecta. We're not going there. We don't think he's a win contender. We're going to talk about the ones who can win the race to get the Rainbow Six done. And before the Rainbow Six, Robert, you have a couple of connections or whatever in a couple of the prior races, and I have a tip for you. Race 7, very strong horse I like there, White Barrio. But Robert has a couple of horses to talk about in races 1 and 3 here. Just a heads up here. What do you got for us, Robert? In the first, for those of you who want to get out of the gate early, first race of the day. I think the first race is, win the first race. What do you got, Robert? Races 1 and 3. You got something?
I know the trainer for the one horse, Nantasket Beach, Lauren Robeson. She's a fine trainer, and I do like this horse. As past 2 wins, and it was a claim from Kelly Breen, good turf trainer, and I watched this horse win his last out at Gulfstream on the 27th. I thought it was a very good race, ridden really well by Johnny V, and he gets a great rider. Joel Rosario, he's terrific on the turf. He's got the 1 hole. I think he's as good as these other horses. So that's one that I guess it's a little personal, but I do think this horse stands out.
Well, I did take a look at that one earlier. You mentioned it to me, and just my 2 cents on that horse. He has I'm using Brisnet and Thorograph here for the handicapping these races, and I looked at the Thorograph numbers, and he has a couple of races in there that are definitely fast enough to take this race. He's a consistent, good performer. He has the numbers, the sheet numbers, that he's a player, and 6-1 is a great price. And what do you got in the other one, Bob?
I like this. I guess it's the 3rd race, the 7.5 furlong race, the Cutler Bay, $165,000 purse. And I do like the 5 horse, Walk On. He's a Carlos Perez horse. He gets Gonzalez on him. And I do like that he's got a cutback in distance because he's a lot of speed. This horse has a lot of speed.
Yeah, and
he won't get out because I watched some of his races, and I think the cutback's going to serve him well.
Yeah, he's going back to 7.5 from a mile, and he does have a big pace edge over these others. And by the sheet numbers, I looked. He's the second. What is he? He's 7-2, and the chalk
Yeah,
is 2-1.
Forge Steel, but the Cassie horse is but you made that comparison. I don't know. You'll have to talk about that between Cassie's and horse and his horse.
Mhm. Okay, so and that one's 7-2. They both look very strong by the numbers, and I definitely like the pace on that 5. Big pace edge there in the turn back.
Right.
All right. Now, thanks for sharing that. And those of you also with Robert's racing credentials, he's been involved in racing, got involved with it really in the early 2000s, involved in the purchasing and the auctions and in some with the ownership. So he's been around racing, a lot of connections there, a tremendous handicapper, handicapper.
Did we talk about Mississippi Man on the show? I'm not sure we did. I don't think we did. Mississippi Man.
No, this is the first time.
Yeah, no, this is the first time we talked about him. He had a win, so
yes, and Robert gave this horse to me in days in advance, almost a week in advance. Mississippi Man making his first start, and lo and behold, turns around, wins the race, and ends up winning a 2-1. And say the money was on him. I mean, what was he 2-5 for a while when the board opened? It's like, what the hell is this? But he thankfully went up to 2-1. But he gave it, and Bobby, he gave it out here. So this is the type of, he knows the people in the business, and on top of that, very skilled handicapper. That's what he's come here and delivers time and time again.
Good as you, but I'm okay.
Yeah, really, really strong. So that's. Besides the acting and the book and the author and the movies and the top-notch horseman, knows the game. So
I don't know about
between the two of us,
okay.
We're looking to bring it tonight again. Okay, race number 9.
Why don't you start with this, because you're the dirt expert. I'm just a layman when it comes.
You're a turf player. Robert Robert's very strong with not only trip handicapping, looks at the replays. He's very strong on the lineage, the bloodlines, and so turf is really the long ball hitter over there. And the first race, let me just bring this up, what we're talking about. I'll look at my notes here. Okay, where are we? There we go. Okay, this is 1 1/16 miles. Okay, so this is the 3-year-old. It's the Oaks. It's for the 3-year-old fillies that are looking to get in there. And as far as the pick 6 go, we're going to give you the rainbow that kicks off the rainbow 6. And what I like about this, I really narrowed down to 2 horses here in this race, and that stand out above the others, the 4 and the 3. Now this is tight. Okay, okay, let me just.
Gaffleone is not riding, right?
That's the thing. Gaffleone is not riding. Queen's Magic, 5G is the one to beat here. The way I see that one, 5G, good front runner, good speed. Has the top Thurgraph, has the top Brisnet, opens 8-5. And the 3 is my second choice. The Queen's MG. Those are the only 2 I'll be using in the Rainbow 6. That one gets Irad Ortiz for Safi Joseph Jr., the house specialist. Won 20% of 326 races there during this meet. Irad is just destroying the rest of the jockeys, winning at a 24% clip on number 3. Based on the last couple of races and the pace scenario, both of them are close stalking types. I give a slight edge to the 4 over the 3. If I had to pick a third choice, 1 and maybe 2, but I wouldn't even want to go there. I think it's good. The Rainbow 6 gets squared away between. I think 4 is my top choice. 3 is second. I'll only be using 2 in this leg. What do you think about this one, Robert?
I agree with you.
Okay.
Those two horses.
It's pretty cut and dry. They're standing out.
I don't see it any being upset, but I have to agree with you.
Yeah, we're probably talking less
I
than
mean,
a.
Irod gets off the. He gets off the. I mean, he broke both horses. He gets off the 4 to ride the 5. So, or because and they get Gaffleon, but now I guess he chose right because the 5 is going to be ridden by someone else because of Gaffleon is not going to be riding tomorrow.
Oh yeah, right. The 4. Irod goes to the 3 over the 4.
Right.
I would have to think it has something to do with the trainer.
Yeah, probably.
Being that Safi's the the big man on campus over there, and he's the leading rider, so they probably work together all the time. Whereas
Right.
Weaver has 39 races at the meet at this track.
Right.
Otherwise, I kind of think Irod would stay with the 5G, but I'm not sure who's riding. I've been looking to see the replacement for that race for Gaffleon. Terrible thing. He broke his ankle on Wednesday, and he was supposed to ride, Robert, in 14 races on it, every race on this card, so he's off all of them.
And they haven't replaced them on the I was just looking to see maybe Equibase has scratched and got the jockeys on them. Let me just take a quick look and see who might be riding.
Okay, while you're looking at that, being that 4 is a little bit faster to date, do you think in a case like this that Irod is good enough to make the difference, overcome the slight disadvantage in speed to overtake the 4? I don't think so. I got to think they're going to be putting a hot shot on.
I'm looking at something here that I see that's interesting. With let me see the entries. Let me see if they've replaced them on the in the Thorograph. I mean in the
yeah, I didn't see it anywhere. I've been.
No, he hasn't been. It hasn't been announced. So,
and all the good jockeys are on horses. They got a million stakes races.
I don't know.
How do they even replace this guy today?
5G, the 5G is a New York bred, and I have a tendency to go with the Kentucky breds. So
got it.
I would go with the 3 horse.
You go with the 3?
Yes.
Yeah.
I go with the Kentucky breds. That's what.
I'm going to stay 4, but I'm just going to use those. So we're on the same 2 horses for the
Yes.
6.
We are.
Okay, let's move on. Are you ready for race 10?
Let me throw it in here. Race
Okay, I'll bring it up.
There you go. 7.5 furlongs on the turf.
Okay, let me close this and open race 10. 7.5 on the turf.
What do you like?
Now this race.
Okay. It's a tough one. I don't think this is an easy one for me. I don't know.
We got some magic, I think, here for this one. Okay.
Let's just
one thing I will say is this: the 7 horse Anna's Magic. I know it has. I'm not using it at all. It's not even in my top 4 here out of this.
And a good body, you mean?
Annie Goodbye. Wait a second.
Yeah, Annie Good Body.
Okay, I got to go back. Race 10, 7.5 furlongs on turf. Okay, wait a second. I was jumping the gun there. Okay, Annie's Promise. That was the other race.
No, that's the next race, the 10th race. That's right. That was the other night. That's right.
Anna's Promise. I was going to say that one. What was that opening at 4-1 and whatever? That I thought that one was offering at a low price. I don't think that one's going to be even in the trifecta. Okay, but here let's go to race 10. This one.
Let me ask you something about this race. How does the 5 shape up in terms of numbers?
No? I'm not seeing it there.
Yeah, I hear you.
I'm not seeing it there. What is he opening at?
20-1.
Okay.
If I was the favorite horse in this race, I would go with the Godolphin horse, Irod's horse.
I'm torn between two of them, the 2 and the 6.
Yeah, the Civetta, yes.
The 6 I like because the 6 has been running at that track. The 6 I like. I have actually a slash between the two of them, which means I'm torn between both. He's coming off a good race. Brendan Walsh out of Into Mischief. You got Irod riding him.
Good fractions on his workouts on turf. He was 3 of 46, 46 and 2 for four furlongs, and then he ran
46. Wow, 46.
Another 4 furlongs. He rode 46 at the same pace. He was 7 of 47.
He is a monster in the mornings. Jeez, those are lightning fast on turf, no less. He's working out. 46.
Man, he still gets
even the one before that, 3rd of 34, 58 seconds flat for 5.
I'm going 7, and then and don't forget we're cutting back here. We're cutting back from a mile to 7.5 furlongs. Look at his win at Look at his win at look at his win 3 back November 28th at 7.5 at Gulfstream Park. He won. He's a specialist at this distance, so maybe Brendan has him.
Yeah. And he's been getting faster, at least by the sheet numbers. He's getting faster.
Right.
He's run last race. He's come last 3 races, 12, 10, 8. He's dropping 2 points, which is multiple lengths each of these drops. He's getting faster. He's only a 3-year-old now. She's only a 3-year-old.
Yeah. Yep.
And as far as that 2, I'm going to go back to the 2. I'm going to have to use them both. Let me just go back to this 2 a second.
Is off the speed on the stretch out ahead of Smart Union.
The only thing I really like about the 2 is this. What I like about the 2 is this. This one did show good early speed in the race at Gulfstream on turf. They come out of the same race. Did come in second by a neck. You got Louis Saez. He's inside.
He lets her go for a run.
And I'm looking for some improvement on turf. So I think this is a virtual coin flip between these 2 horses, fillies.
Brutally honest, still at the back. Lemon Pepper
4-1 on the 2, 9-2 on the 6.
And 4. They leave.
Well, those are the 2 that I have that I'm using. I do want to go down to the 9 and 10 for you. You mentioned the
Lose the threat. Civetta looks like she's got plenty, but she has no place to go. From the back, it's Winning Streak underway to Big Price, and they're on their way home. Civetta muscling into the clear.
Hey, Robert has the replay going for us.
They try to get its witchcraft. Civetta has the lead on the outside. It's Winning Streak surging to her on the outside. Ramsey Pond tries to get into 3rd. Civetta on the outside. Winning Streak. Civetta.
Talented horse. Gets the right rider. Got the right rider on him. So, although he got beat, I didn't watch the last race, but don't forget he came.
Well, he's working out really fast. I think he's going to have a little
2-month layoff, and he had from January to February, March, for 1 month layoff. He's coming back a month later now, almost a month later. They seem to space their workouts about a month in between. He went from November to January, and he went from the October 6th. They're spacing out, listen, the horse is a talented horse. That's the one. Now, who do you like?
I have 2 as my I have 6 underlined. I have 2 and 6 with a dash, but I have 6 underlined as my top choice out of the 2. I'm going to use both. The only other 2 that I looked at, and I'm not going to spread here, but the 2 that I think that might do some damage underneath are 9 has a lot of early speed. We don't know what to. It should be the one that's out front. It's a turf expert, spirited boss. Yeah, this one has a gigantic pace edge on the chart. So, what are the odds on 9? Let me bring them up.
12-1.
12-1.
Junior Alvarado rides.
He's gonna have to. Very fast early. I mean, sheet numbers are slower. But let me bring. I just want to bring one thing up. This is the one time I'm going to go to the chart because I think I want to show you this what I'm looking at right now.
He's got a $85.74 ROI from synthetic to turf. Jose D'Angelo.
In what percentage does he win? Does it say? Because I can give it to you.
Turf sprints, he's 286. First turf, he's 236.
Okay, now I think you could see this. Do you see this pace chart here, Bobby?
Right. Let me see.
Yeah, that's Spirited Boss on the pace edge, number 9. Look how far he is across on the bar graph. That this one should be flying. And it's only 7.5 furlongs. And I'm wondering, is it possible for this freaking filly to steal this race? It's running, when you consider the runoff time, it's running sub 22 second opening first calls.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It's like, whoa. But now I just want to go to okay, that's just what I wanted to show you there. But you could see it. And let me just make it a little bit bigger so you could see what.
Yes.
Yeah. You could see the times of the quarters. Spirited Boss. But they have the seconds earlier. Like you see the 2-horse last race ran at 22.53, gets Saez back. And the 6 ran at 22.86 in that race and was a few lengths behind the 2 and made up that ground towards the end. But you see he did run, the 6 did run at 22.49. And at Ellis Park earlier really turned up the Jets, 21.23. So that 6, I think the thing I like about that 6 is he does look like he could turn it on and off. He can either lay a little bit back or he could motor to the front. But that 10, that 9.
Well, so that's a good deal. I mean, and don't forget, even though Irod's getting off this horse, he rode this horse, by the way. So, I mean, Irod was the rider on this horse.
On which horse?
On the 9 horse. He gets off to ride Civetta. But
that even makes it more interesting.
So he does ride. So I think this should be a horse that you
holy cow, he gets off of him.
This is a horse you can put into your pick 6.
Yes, the 9, yeah.
So what do we have so far in terms of the, that's not good. We have the we like this. You like the 6 here, right? And then
I'm going to be using 6 and 2. But I'm wondering. I have 9 with a question mark next to it as my third choice.
Yeah, I would go if I was. I'm just saying it.
If you're going to get a price, and if this one runs off and hides, I'm just looking at the sheet numbers, how it matches up with the others. Number 9, we don't know. He's right there. Like the 2 that we like best are both coming off of 8s. This one's running a 10 on synthetic, but I mean,
listen. It doesn't really matter if you're playing a pick 6. You want to have a long horse. Look what happened to us at Fairgrounds. These horses came in. These long horses came in. So it's nice to have a little bit of a long shot in there. I think I'm going to go with the 269 here.
269. And the other one that has some nice races, a little bit slower than the 10, is Classic Q, the Mark Cassie entry. He'd be my 4th choice, but I don't like that he's outside. And I'm between the 2 ones that are faster, the 2 and the 6, and the whole Irod thing, and the 9's early speed. I will include 9 in there as well, 2, 6, and 9. If I didn't want to spread, this 9 scares me now. I think I'd be a little nervous about leaving it out. Coming off,
it's a 7.5 furlong race, so,
and he's actually turning back from the mile 70. So who knows how fast he's going to go here? And he's familiar with the surroundings. He's running on the Tapeta.
Here's the thing, Alan. When they're running 7.5 furlongs, I don't care what you say. At Gulfstream, it's positioning. It's being fast enough to get around that first turn and get position. And they start on that, right on almost at that turn. So it's, you got to, if you're an outside horse, it's not so easy to get across. So I happen to, on the 7.5 furlong race, I like the inside posts. I do like them a lot. So, your 2 horse does figure in here in the equation. He's not a bad horse. He's run for some money too. So I think the 269 is the way to go.
Mm-hmm. And the 9. What do you think about the 9's positioning in that 7.5 furlong?
Well, the 9 is gonna blister out, and that's all.
That's
He's
going to
only
be
one
a big
option. Alvaro Jr. has only one option, to go and not look back.
Yeah. Yeah, and he looks fast enough that he will be able to, sweep across. Okay, so 269. Okay, now we go to race 11. Let's bring that one up.
Yep.
Okay, so basically there so far this can be played for 20 cents. And in race 11 here, we have the Army Mule Stakes for the great Army Mule. What a sire. 7 furlongs. We're on the dirt. I see this. Wow. I actually have
half dozen. They chase the speed of
4 of them listed for this race. We'll go in order. Let me bring this up.
Front by half a leg. Spirited Boss is second in a flanking roll, 2 better than Designer Bag in third. Miss Marinella is a keen fourth at the rail. That's Money Bouquet.
I don't know. You want to start looking at the race, but I don't see really a lot of speed here, Alan, with this 9 horse.
I'm going by what they're giving us here.
We got a 70 buyer, but I don't know. I mean, the fractions don't look that fast. 23 and 24, 48 and 2. It's a mile 70 yards, but that's true. Yeah. It's a mile and 70 yards. If you look at the race for the 5.5 furlong race, he really turned it on. Hey, listen, this is a street boss. You can't discount a street boss. I'm going to go to the next race now. I think street boss is a good horse on the turf. 11th race, right?
Yes.
What do you got here? Knightsbridge. Got to put Knightsbridge.
Here we go. Yeah, Knightsbridge is.
I'm going to put Knightsbridge in my picks because I wouldn't want to lose this pick 6 with not playing Knightsbridge.
He looks like the best horse in this race, and he does.
He wasn't in good shape. He was in good shape prior to that race. I think that he just got a little bit rambunctious,
Well, you know what jumps out at me about that race is
he
was going longer than he normally does.
Yes, that's true.
And
that's true.
He was going longer. Like the horse that beat him in that race is in this race.
Yeah, now it's back to 7 furlongs. So now we level the playing field.
And that one that beat him has Paco Lopez up. Who is that number?
His bullets look good. 4 furlongs. 1 is 61, 48 and 48. So what do you like here? I like Knightsbridge first. What do you have? Anything else?
I have Knightsbridge first. My second choice, the second choice I have is number 9 in this one. He's the only one that I think can really. He's another one. He's a Tapeta specialist. He has run a 90 Brisnet on dirt. He only has 1 career race on dirt. 7 wins, 7 races, 4 wins. Bunch of string of 90s. All of his career races are over a 90 Brisnet. I mean, first asking was running at Woodbine, won by 11 lengths, 97. Play me a tune. Play me a tune. That's clever. All one word. Play me a tune. 8-1. But the third graph numbers are what get me there for that one. Whereas Knightsbridge, his numbers, very lightly raced Knightsbridge. And that's when you gave me a heads up on a while back as well. We watched that race. And he's coming back, his second race back off of a layoff. He's putting up 2s as a 3-year-old, a pair of 2s. Now, his first race back, he didn't run as quick. He ran a 5, which was kind of a regression by the Thorograph, a significant regression, but 5 is still a solid number that fits this race. And if you go down to the 9, he's running a lot of synthetic races. He has a 3 in his last race. He did run a 1 back in August. He's run some 4s. I don't even know if I would have to include him. Maybe the other one. There was one in here that beat Knightbridge last time. The number 8, Inveigled. Paco Lopez up. I don't even have him in my top 4 here. He's a router, and he caught Knightbridge on his own turf running a mile last race. He ran his fastest race by the sheets to date, and did manage to beat Knightbridge by a length and a half. Now, if this was shorter, Knightsbridge would have hung on and held him off, and Inveigled doesn't get that luxury this race. Paco Lopez or not, he's not playing his game here. He's sprinting this race, and I don't like him. The only other one I would look at was maybe the 5. 5 has a bunch. Here's the thing about 5. 5 ran a 6 last time, and 5 does know Todd Pletcher entry gets Irad Ortiz. He has some races as a 4-year-old at between July at Delaware, then a race at Laurel in July, and then in August he ran a really big, a very solid number at Parks.
He's a Pennsylvania bred.
But then after that, he's just fallen off a cliff. At Gulfstream, he got beat soundly. This is a Parks horse, Pennsylvania bred. Yeah, Gordian Knot, nice horse, but no, I think he's in over his head. I can't. Maybe the 2. I'm looking at the 2 for a sec. 2 has some nice races at Gulfstream. The last race at Tampa, I would throw that out. What are the odds on number 2? I think 2's a nice show. 2 has a lot of
20-1.
2 has some early speed. 2 has some numbers in here that could do some damage. Look at his 2 races in August and also his race in May here at Gulfstream.
Alvarado gets off him to ride.
Luis Saez on this one?
Yep.
I think the 2's a little interesting if I was going to spread and I wanted to take a shot.
Definitely an interesting horse.
You know what I like about him, too? He does, the last race, just throwing it out, he didn't like Tampa at all. Here he's on the board 18 out of 21 times at Gulfstream. At the distance, he's on the board 2 wins in 3 seconds out of 9 tries. He loves this track. He comes off a bullet work on the 18th.
Florida bred. I don't know. Florida
Trainer is 17%, Ronald Spatz. And you get Luis Saez up on a 20-1. Saez rode this one to victory here on Christmas Eve 2023. 101 is career high Brisnet number, and Saez is first time reunited with the horse again since that day, about a year and a few months ago.
Carrying 122 pounds.
I think he's a good horse for the exactor in that. If you wanted to spread and take a shot, I mean, this is the one that might do some damage.
Well, I hear you. You're going to get a price.
I'm tempted to single Knightsbridge. He's the one on top. I can't get past him. Maybe the 2 if the 2 does it. And the only X factor out there is that 9. I'm not sure what that 9 looks a little dangerous. I don't like the 5. I'm moving off the Irod one, the Pennsylvania bred. I like 4, 9, and 2 is my 3 there, but I like 4 the best. Would you spread in this off Knightsbridge?
No, I'd stay. I'm gonna single Knightsbridge.
You got to take a stand somewhere, right?
Yep, let's single.
And for you exacta players, or try, maybe even a show player, if you're getting a price, definitely keep an eye on the 2. I want to just take a quick peek at the Thoroughbred
I think Rosario to change to take Alvarado off and Rosario, make the horse relax a little bit, go out and he's a champion. He's at a they paid 175,000. He's a Nyquist. I'm a little bit I know the last race was interesting and he had 2 turns and he just didn't like the 2 turns,
It's a field of 8 and one.
Yeah, and didn't he get pressed a little bit by a couple of horses in
He
there?
got pressed by the 5 horse. Killed him. 5 horse.
I can remember we watched that race together.
I'm watching it right now, and the 5 horse is like pressing him like crazy.
And that's the thing. And also, I'm surprised they brought him back off the layoff in a race at a mile. That okay.
45.
Knightsbridge has been hard used, but he is
45.
Yep, hard used. He's back. He's off 3.5 months, and they bring him back at a mile.
Well, this is yeah, I know. 7 furlongs. Well, he was doing a lot of training.
Continues to work, but continues to lead. Davis gets off the inside at the opportune time for Uno Mas Bourbon. Also working into the clearance and Bagel, and they're on their way home.
This 9 horse goes backwards.
He's hard at work. He's trying to put
He was
him
pressing
away.
him the whole way.
Center and Bagel is launching late in between horses. Flying Liam. They come past.
He was the best horse of the day.
I
don't care what anyone tells me.
The upset is on at 14-1. It's inveigled.
He was
with a solid try second. Third was
let's see him beat him this time.
You'll never beat him.
Come and get me, baby. I'm singling him.
Yeah, I don't even have I don't even have that 8 horse in my top 4 in this race. So I think, what are the odds on the 8 in this race?
The 8 horse. Hold on.
Now this is the one that just beat Knightsbridge in that last race. What are the odds?
7-2.
Oh,
he
jeez.
needs the setup. I mean, he had the setup that time.
See, now that's a sucker's bet. Anyway, this is a type of race that I might think of doing a try, definitely with the 2 on top, even if it's a 50-cent try, 4 over and 3 horses, 259, and get some prices in there. I don't know what the odds on the 5 are. The 5 is probably not too low. I see him at 6-1, and the 2 is 20-1, and the 9 is 8-1. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's up to you, AH.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but I'm looking at a single here with 4. If I do decide to spread or do something on the side, maybe a nice show bet, I don't know. We'll see, or an exacta. 2 of the other 2 I'd keep in mind are the 2 and the 9 for messing around, more so than the 5, 2 and 9. But I'm going to single 4 here, but because I think we're going to get it done there. He looks too strong. Too strong. Like you said, he's out of Nyquist and Bill Mott, trainer of the year, a couple of years. Yeah. We got the Rosario. Okay, we're in good shape there. Okay, on to race 12, getting near the Florida Derby. Okay, moving right along. Getting a lot in here in a decent amount in a very reasonable amount of time. Okay, race 12. Let me open up the PP. There we go.
We're at a mile and a 16th.
Now this is a very interesting race. Do you want to you let us know?
No, you go ahead. You're the expert. I just want to say that I think that we should really, before we open up our discussion, we should always say race 12. It's the Sand Springs $65,000 purse, right, for 4-year-olds and up. I think we should always state that,
Exactly.
So
excellent
it's
point,
like
Robert.
approaching the mountain, you should know what the race is about. It's a 4-year-olds and up. So if you see a 3-year-old in here, or a younger horse going against older horses, it's something to consider.
Absolutely. Excellent point, Robert. And my apologies to all of those out there if I haven't done that in some of these. But
we're sussing it out a little at a time. We're figuring out what we got to do to make it better for all of us.
Okay, and with that, mile and a 16th on turf, the Sand Springs Stakes, $165,000 for fillies and mares 4 and up. All right, and this is a mile and a 16th on turf. All right, I see this is a tough race. This is another one. I'm not going to go 4 deep on this. I'm torn between 6 and 7 as my top two choices. I can go either way. I'll bring them up, but also 12 and 4 are interesting as well. So I'll start with the two that I like best here.
Who's Irad on in this race?
Irad is on. Irad is on 4. And 12 is also dangerous.
Yeah, she's a dangerous horse. She's a classy horse. She's got to get a dream trip. I mean, she had Gaffleone on, and who knows who's going to ride her. But she's a dangerous horse. She's running for.
This is the race where I think I remember. Okay, this is the race I think I'm going to use all 4. Go ahead. You got Luis on that buttercream, babe. No way.
You got to check out and see the scratches. You know, in this
5
race.
pounds. Wait a second.
Yeah.
12, 8, yes, Safi.
And they're off in the Honey Fox.
Yeah, this horse doesn't play around. This horse,
no, that's a front runner.
Yeah, she likes to go. She likes to go up front. She's going to go too because she's post 12.
Zara is next with poolside with Slim angled off the inside. Pounces widest of all. Saving ground down toward the rail is.
Well, she likes to run.
8 lengths off the lead in front of Tax Implications and
she likes to run.
Life's an audible toward the back of the field and ready for sure.
And she's going to have time to get in position before the turn.
Now by 6. The opening quarter was 23 and 2. It's a pumped up in our
Let me
time. Who leads clearly from special.
Not that much time.
At the rail, that's Sister Luann.
She said, not that much time.
Poolside with Slim is out 3 wide. 4 wide on the course is Pounce, a length and a half in front of See You Around.
23 and 2.
Consort and Tax Implications. Still at the back, Life's an Audible.
46 and 1.
And with the half and 46 and 1. These are lively fractions. And In Our Time has the lead, 3 furlongs from the wire and 3 on top. Special One starts to gain ground together with Ozara second and third. Fourth is Poolside with Slim. 3 back to her retreating Sister Luann. Outside of her is Pounce. Not much running home from the back. Tax Implications has a mountain to climb with a quarter of a mile to go. 3/4, 9 and 2. Here's Special One to take on In Our Time. In Our Time tries to find another gear. Special One is now stuck her head in front. In Our Time is fighting hard, but Special One is the leader. In Our Time, very game, but back to second. Special One in the colors of Team Valor to win the Honey Fox by a length and a half. Second was the pace setter In Our Time. Third was Pool.
Well, the thing is the post position. Like you said, that it's the post position that ruined her that time. She probably was the best horse in the field. She got another shitty post position, although they made it a favorite. Here.
Well, that's why I have her listed third.
I don't think
if she was inside, there'd be no question that I'd have her as the favorite, and she'd be my top choice. As it is, I'm going to go 4 deep. I think here in this leg, this is the one.
You're right. What do you like in this leg?
I'll give you who I like in order, and I'll tell you why. Okay. Top choice is number 6. This one has some very solid numbers, very solid races here. I'm between 6 and 7. Jeez. No, wait a second. Here's the thing. I'm torn between 6 and 7, and this is my horse. I think this is the horse that could make this day worthwhile.
The Malibu Moon is coming off the dirt to turf. So I mean, the horse the horse ran its whole career on the dirt. So
I realize that, but the numbers are so big.
Second start,
so big, Bobby. The last couple of races that he towers above. She towers above the 12 and the 6 and the 4. I mean, to put it into perspective, Thoroughgraph, the lower the number. Todd Pletcher's the trainer. When he goes first time turf, he wins. This goes back 658 races. First time turf, he wins 17%.
Wow.
And with a 1.7 ROI. But listen to this. And when he goes dirt to turf, he's also 16%, 1,047 races.
Wow.
Okay, yeah. But listen to this Thoroughgraph number. Now, remember, at this distance, each point, Thoroughgraph point, a number, the lower the number, the faster the race. Each point you go down, you're talking about between 2 and 3 lengths or so at this type of distance. Okay, 2 or 3, a couple of lengths. Autumn Evening is coming off a race 2 back that was a 5. Okay, now that was at a sprint, a 5. Now we're going to go down to the fastest horse on turf in here so far. We're going to go down to the number 12. He's running 6, his last 4 races, 6, 7, 7, 7. Okay. Now that's pretty solid as far as the turf entries. 1 6 and a string of 7s. Now, if you go to the 2 on dirt, you know what he ran his last race?
What?
A 2.
Wow.
You're talking like Secretariat looking over his shoulder, the jockey. He runs that type of race and he transfers that over to the turf. I mean, the race is almost over already. And even before that, his last 2 races on dirt were a pair of 5s, which is again faster than the 11. And before that on dirt, he was 7. He also has a 6 in there. But, I mean, he's only a 4-year-old. He's had a month off. And it's not like he's an old horse. Now they're figuring, and I looked at the breeding, he does have a little bit of turf breeding in there. And Todd is good moving him over to the turf, first time out or go dirt to turf for a race, even if he had experience. Even with no experience, he's 17% making the move. And he thinks this one's the numbers is just too big. I can't leave this horse out. That would throw my whole equilibrium off. If this is like one of my strengths of my game is reading these charts. And if I left a horse out that has such a big number advantage and lose, especially what's he opening at 20-1, it just defeats the whole purpose. Yeah.
So what are you saying?
Oh, I'm going to use him, but I'm also going to use that 12. And I like the 6. I think has some really nice numbers. I prefer the 6 over the 12 because he's inside, and I like the connections. Let me just bring them up here. Okay, I'm shooting around. Number 6. He also has a 5, which is faster than anything that the 11 has out there. 2 races back. He finished 5th at Gulfstream on December 21st, but he was only 1.5 back. He got stuck wide, but he's running 7s. Yeah, he's maybe a touch, he's same ballpark right there. If you throw out the 11's last race, his 6, he's 7s. This one's 7s all the time. He's inside. The only thing and he did run a 5 here at Gulfstream. So he seemed to take to this track. So that's why he's my top choice, followed by the 7 with that big number, the 2. The only reason I don't make the 7 a slam dunk top choice is because of the dirt.
Up on the outside of C around Saffron Moon going clear lane. Flavian Pratt and Saffron Moon to win the Endeavor by 2.
I think you're right. I don't think you discount this horse, this Clement horse. You can't discount him.
Yeah, so I like, and Dylan Davis, he's riding okay. He's taken the Gulfstream. He's not a punching bag over there. For a guy that's riding full-time for the championship meet, he's at 12%. So, and he's still learning. He's a younger guy. And he's getting mounts from top trainers like Clement and Bill Mott. The big guys, Cassie, they're giving him shots. So they wouldn't do that, to cut the kid a break. They're doing it because they're in there to win and they think he can get it done. And the other one that I like in here is the 4 with Safi Joseph Jr. and Irad Ortiz. He seems to be moving forward. He has a string of 7s out there, but you got the jockey. He's coming out of G3 races.
You like the 4 too?
I got to go 4 deep in this race. And what are the odds on the 4? I think the
You're
4
going actually 5 deep. No.
Well, the 4 I have listed in order, and it's a tentative order.
You got the 2, 4, 6, 7, 12 now.
I don't have 2. I have 6.
You threw out
4,
the 2.
6, 7, 12.
You threw out the 2, right? 4, 6, 7, 12. These are 4
That's just it. Yeah. I don't like it.
Very good choice.
A nice horse, but these couple slices below the others.
I like them. I like all your choices here. I go with the same amount of horses.
Yeah, this is the one race that I have to spread. I think all of them can win.
All right.
You get Irad on the 4. And
Let's move over to the Appleton.
okay,
Why don't you call it race 13?
race 13. Okay. Wait a second. Yeah, with the Appleton. Okay. We'll give you a rundown. Okay. Let me bring it up. Race 13, 1 mile on turf, the Appleton Stakes. Okay. Presented by My Horse. My Horse. Okay. Purse 100. A lot of these purse 165,000. Seems like all of these purses are the same in these lower stakes. 165,000. Four-year-olds and up. All right. And this is on turf. I see this as a 2-horse race.
It's a 1 mile race. Did you say 1 mile? I'm sure.
I got it. 1 mile race. 1 mile race.
Right.
1 mile on turf. Now I got it. Here's what I got here. I see 9 as the top choice. Let me just bring them up. I know we got our ride on this one. Major Dude out of Baltioro. Irod riding for Todd Pletcher. 5 races here at Gulfstream. 2 wins, 2 seconds. Has numbers power, jockeys power, trainer power. Todd, 19% of the meet. Irod dominating the jockey standings here. 24% winning percentage. The only other one, now I'm looking at the Brisnet. The Brisnet and the Thorograph. Now, the Brisnet, the only other one that has a shot here, and the Thorograph is the Mark Cassie entry, number 11, Iced Chocolate.
Yeah.
7-2 shot. I'm just going to use them both because I'm going to go down to the pure numbers
It's all
here.
for 180 days. You realize that, It's all for 180 days.
Okay, I'm bringing it up. Let me get my note here. 13. The 11's off 180?
Yep.
Okay.
I don't know. At a mile, I hate this. The post. I hate the post. I like the 9. Don't get me wrong. I like your 9, but I'll look for something inside here too.
Now the 11 has run very fast here at Gulfstream.
Right.
He's okay. Now he is off. He did run at Saratoga. Why the long layoff? Coming off the G3. He has the. And the advantage of the 9 really is inside, and he's in form. He's running on a regular schedule right now. They're giving him about a month off between races, and this is going to be his 4th off the layoff. Really, he had the big race back. Actually, he came in 2nd in the last race. But he actually ran faster coming in 6th the race before that at 1 mile and 1/8 by these sheets. They're all good. They're all quick.
This is a tough race. I don't know. This is a tough race as far as I'm concerned.
But 11, if 11 brings his A game, he could win that race. Yeah, I got to tie him off. Now, I want to look at Mark Cassie gets Rosario up. Last race did win a G3 at Saratoga. Why the long layoff? And I want to see how he's working. But Mark Cassie on the layoffs of 90-plus days, that's more than that. It's almost 3 times more than that. Yeah, 9 months, 90 days. He's 14% off the layoff. So we're going to go to the works on this one here. Not fast at all. I just want to see if this one's a slow worker. Yeah, it looks like Mark Cassie doesn't really overwork this horse in the mornings. Because I'm going back to even May of last year, and he was still working relatively slow. And he did have some workouts into July before they laid him up workouts, and then they started working him again in December, January, February,
Stall.
March.
They're
They're all in line, and we are.
7-year-old. You got the breeding of these 7.
They're off in the Nashville Derby Invitational. And a great beginning here for Navy SEAL, who goes out to the early lead with Abramar. Rothschild is away running in third, tucks in behind them. And then comes Laggy Nose in fourth. Cugino, fifth in the early stages here, about 5.5 lengths off the lead as they race to the backstretch.
I'll tell you who I like as my other 2 choices who are very intriguing. If there's anybody that's going to get it done inside, I like there are 2 horses I like, and I'll give it to you in order. And the one I have underlined, who's certainly to be used within a trifecta, is number 2, who is consistent as can be. Fly the W. 6 races here. Gets Castellano up, 4 wins and 2/3 on this track. At the distance, 3 wins and 2/3 out of 6 races here. Beautiful thoroughgraph numbers. He's coming out of a claiming race, but even that, all his numbers are good. He goes over to Martin Drexler. And the other one I like, if I was going to sneak somebody in, is the 3, Dr. Jeff. He's a synthetic horse, and he has a huge pace edge. Gets Louis Saez. Wow. This sounds just like that other horse that has a big pace edge. Saez. Let me bring this chart up for this one. I want you to see this when we're talking about pace. And I'll have it ready to share just right now. Race number 13, yeah. 9 and 11 are the only 2 I look like I'm using here in the Rainbow Six, but I'm thinking of these for, here we go. Let me bring it up. And I enlarge it. Here's another case. Look at the pace edge on this 3. Now, he's a rabbit, Dr. Jeff. Gets Louis Saez. He's riding it the 3rd time in a row. Opens 30-1. This is a mile on turf. I'm thinking for those who want to sneak him into a try. And the 2, Fly the W, has some very nice charts as far as the pure numbers go, a bunch of 4s and 5s, which,
I tell you a horse that I like here because of the distance and his post position. I do like some of your selections. I like that 9 horse here, Major Dude, of course, Fletcher's horse, but as an alternative, I don't think this 6 horse is a bad horse, although he hasn't run since August.
Abruma,
and he has speed, this horse, and he does have speed. He does. What do you think of this 6 horse? How's he tally up?
Okay, let me look at him here.
Let's look at him at Monmouth Park. Let me look at him at Monmouth. He's got speed.
What I like is he's a well-traveled horse. He doesn't, which is good. He has a layoff for Saffie Joseph Jr. Saffie's 22% when they get a few months or more off.
Old Nelson on the far outside, prominent in the early stages. Feltrinelli, first time routing, going a few turns here on the grass today, is prominent too. And Izzy D'Oro from the inside sprints forward to have a noselead. Feltrinelli right there to the outside. A big gap
4-1
back to Abrubar and full.
What his opening odds are?
4-1.
Clip in the first quarter mile or so. Then comes Rose Collector, Carson's Run. They're side by
keeps getting faster.
West are together as well. Mission Ready, far out of it early.
He was a favorite at this Monmouth track. He likes. I think he does like the. He ran at Kentucky Downs.
Lead now, Izzy D'Oro right there to the inside. There's still 4 ahead of Abrumar in the 3rd position.
The jockey's got a good hold on him. Yeah, really good hold on him.
West has advanced a few spots. He's 5th now as the top pair really slow it down here down the back stretch. Rose Collector, Carson's Run next. Noted joins them in a big gap to Mission Ready, who's still well out of it with a half mile.
He's running in stakes. That's good.
Front now, it's a half length. Feltrinelli sent.
He's 3 for 3 at the track.
The 3 path
he is
closer. These
3 for 3 at Gulfstream, 2 for 3 at the distance with the 3rd.
Getting a good trip. in the 4th position on the rail to this point. Now Full Nelson has come under a pressure as they round the far turn. Still on the lead.
I'm picking my nose on camera. Excuse me, because I'm looking at the race. Excuse me, fans.
Oh,
we all
I can't see one mile. I'm just seeing he came in third once at this distance, but
picking my nose on camera. You didn't tell me.
I was looking at the chart.
That's all right.
Okay, you know what happened, Bobby, when he came in third at this distance? They had to steady him at the start, so you can excuse that race. He's technically 2 for 2 at this distance,
He
and
is.
3 for 3 at Gulfstream Park.
Yeah,
Wow,
I see that.
he's
He does like
improving.
this, he does like this track. That's for sure.
Loves the track.
And he was at that point, boy, he was speedy there.
He looked good.
Well, those races you're talking about, that's he ran the Colonel Liam. He won the Colonel Liam to wire. But that's way back when. I mean, if you look at his that Kentucky Downs course is a weird course because it really does some bad stuff to horses.
Here's the thing that I don't like about him, and
Okay.
what's that?
What horses besides this horse? What horses did you like here?
Well, this one, I'm not crazy about the layoff.
You liked the 3, right?
In race 13, no, I like 9 and 11 best. I was talking about I think the 2 is very solid. Let me just show you what I'm looking at here. We're going to start with the.
What are you going to use?
My top 2 choices are 9 and 11.
Okay.
9 and 11. And then I'm going to look at 2. Now, I want to show you this horse, the one that you're just talking about. By the Brisnet numbers, he's beautiful. He's beautiful for this race. Everything is, let me bring him up so you can see what I'm talking about.
Bruma, right?
I don't do this. I'm not, this is a change of pace. We don't usually do this, but for this case, we will.
I don't usually pick my nose, but forgive me.
Yeah.
On camera.
It's forgotten. Okay, let's see. Okay, you see his numbers? Do you see how they're getting lower on the bottom of the chart?
Let me enlarge the screen. Hold on. I have to, before I go out of power, let me click in here. There we go. Okay. Now, what do you say?
Okay, do you see his number? Here he is, Abrumar. You see him?
Bruma, yes.
Yeah. And you see his first, you look at the first column, it's what he did as a 2-year-old. He ran a 14 and a 15, right?
Yes.
And then you go to the bottom, January. Now, notice how his numbers are getting better and better and better. 11, 11, 11, 9, 9, 7, 8, about the same. And now you have empty boxes. They're the months that he didn't run, September through December.
The lower the number, that middle thing is better, right?
Yeah, the lower the number, the faster the race. Each number, like the 7 to the 8, that's a different at this distance.
Well, how does he look to you? How does he look to you?
Okay, 11. Now I want to show you the numbers for the horses that I'm talking about. Now Brisnet, he's just as fast as the favorites. Now the Thoroughgraph, they take all these things into account, condense it down to a number. So he's running. If he keeps improving, and he's going to be racing as the first race as a 4-year-old. Maybe he drops again since he's matured a little bit. Maybe you put him in the maybe the 6. Who knows what he's going to run next with the layoff. Anyway, last seen, he's running 7s, 8s. He's running around there. Now look at the 9, who's my top choice. He's coming off a 4, a 2, a 4, a 3, 5, significantly lower than 8 and 7. I mean, this one is running 4 and 2. It's Todd Pletcher and Irad Ortiz. So on Thoroughgraph,
I totally agree with you about Major Dude. I even thought to have a Todd Pletcher double with Major Dude into a Disruptor.
Okay, so now that you see how low the numbers are there. Now I'm going to go to the other one, the 11, who's had the long layoff for Cassie. You see,
wow. And the 11's a 6-year-old too. So I mean,
yeah, now he's going to be 7. But look at him when last seen. At Gulfstream Park. He was running last year, January and February, a 3, a 2. Then he regressed 5 and 9. Something happened there. I don't know what happened in the 9. Off pace inside. Just a bad race, it looks like. Then he improved to a 3 again, 2-3. All of a sudden, something happened there, and then he's been off all this time. And he's breaking outside. I don't know what. Maybe I may not even use this one now. I might hang my head on the 9 and maybe even single. I don't know. But then we go to your other one making his first start as a 4-year-old. Maybe is he getting spotted weight here? 118. Yeah, you're getting 6 pounds.
Wow.
And every 5-point in Thorograph is equal to a point. So you could lower that 7 down to technically a 6. Let me 8. Okay, we're going to go to the 6 here. We don't know. This one could jump forward, Robert. I mean, he could jump forward. I'd be more inclined to use this one than the 11 on the outside. But here's the other one now. Remember, we're talking 8 7s here for the 6. Maybe either I'll single 9, and the other one here's the one I wanted to show you, the 2, who I said is very consistent. Look at this 2. He runs on synthetic, but he also runs on grass. He has a bunch of 5s. 5, 5, 4, 5. And what are his odds? It's probably a good trifecta, or 20-1, fly the W.
Yeah.
20-1, but look at that consistent running line of 4s. Now this one's he's making his second start as a 9-year-old. He won a claiming race last year. Yeah, probably outclassed. I think
he's outclassed.
I think maybe I just want to go. Yeah, I just want to look.
No, you got to go. You're a good handicapper, Alan. You really know your stuff. So,
thanks.
You got to go with your gut.
Thanks. I'm just. Thanks. And you're all over this too. So between the two of us, we should get this done here. And now I'm going back to that pace chart a second. I'm looking at your horse in the pace scenario, the 6, who I'm intrigued by. Gets Zayas. We don't know exactly how fast. He ran that Kentucky Downs race. It was a 1 mile and 5/16 race.
That's what I'm saying.
Now he's turning back
to a mile.
And he has run already a 23-second. He always gets a good jockey. Zayas, Paco Lopez. Irod has rode this one. I think I if I singled 9, I'm a little leery about the 11.
I would go 9.
Rosario is riding him, but it's a big.
You want to spread? I mean, I would spread. Personally, I would spread.
I'm really tempted to say the 9 just gets it done. 2-1. What is he open? 2-1. He's probably going to take. But this race, I smell something here. There's something funny here that something's going to happen in this race. Let me get this off the screen. Here's what I see. I'm going to trust Cassie. I'm going to trust Rosario. I'm not going to spread. I'm just going to keep it at 2, 9 and 11 here in this leg of the rainbow. I see if I'm going to do something, if I get eliminated, I get eliminated. I'm just going to go by the pure numbers here.
Okay.
9, 11. If I had to spread, I would. If I really wanted,
I got the 6.
I think your 6 is the. I think your 6 is the X factor in there. I think your 6 is the X factor in there.
I got the 6, 9, 11. 6, 9, 11. Only because Zayas is riding him.
Yeah, no one knows that track.
First time 4-year-old, and like you said, he's carrying 118 pounds. So,
okay, I'm on 9, 11. You're on 6, 9, 11.
Yep, let's go to the big race.
Okay, now we're up to the Florida Derby, the Run for the Roses. We've got the points on the line here. We got some interesting horses. Let me bring the.
Mile and an eighth.
Okay, let me
I'll
get
call the race. It's a Florida Derby, Gulfstream Park. Race. Let me get this. Race number 14. Post time 6:42. It's a dirt race, a mile and an eighth, 3-year-olds, a Derby prep. Purse is $1 million. As Alan pointed out, many of the Kentucky Derby winners have come from this race. I had Madge, I had Nyquist, and a few others. So here we are. Alan, why don't you start off?
Thank you, sir. That was wonderful. Madge, yeah. And we actually called that one on the show that day. And that was what, 2 years ago?
Yes. Well, yes, I think it was.
And you had Nyquist. You hit a tremendous future play with
Yeah.
Nyquist, and over 10 grand, I believe. And so
12,000.
12. Now that's what I call. Great job on that, Bobby.
Yeah.
And you mentioned all the
I don't
victories
think I'll
here.
ever be able to tap that on a ticket.
Let's
for,
see.
For a win bet, that's my greatest win bet.
So fifth.
And I don't think there's many other players that won that kind of money on a win bet either.
Really, that's what I call a win. Now, you know, and you mentioned the winners that come out of the Florida Derby. Florida Derby's produced 15 Kentucky Derby winners.
I will have a little disclaimer that I personally feel it's in my heart that the Kentucky Derby winner will come from California. I feel very strongly about the California horses this year. I mean, they're Kentucky breds, but it's going to come from the West Coast. And some of them that I like, we'll just talk about, Citizen Bull, and of course, Journalism. I think the Journalism is a tremendous horse. And he's got great stamina, and he's shown he can go up front and come from behind. So, and of course, Citizen Bull, another into mischief. Could be into mischief's year. That's all I want to say. So let's get back to business here.
Yeah, and you know what?
What is my feeling of California? It has the edge.
And they produce winners too. I was looking at next week, speaking of edge, Santa Anita Derby, which is next weekend, that's produced 10 Derby winners. And of course, and saying you got Baffert out there, that definitely helps. And some damn good horses.
And we
had
have
another big race next weekend.
And Journalism and Citizen Bull running.
Journalism, yeah, what a lineup out of there. And you still got Barnes.
Yep.
And Canorpian, or whatever his name is running in the Arkansas Derby tomorrow. He's from Florida, and another Baffert. But so Santa Anita, 10 Derby winners, and actually the Wood Memorial is next weekend as well as the Santa Anita Derby. And the Wood Memorial has produced 11 Kentucky Derby winners, and so and this one 15. So let's get started on this honors, Bobby. Who do you like best in this race? Go ahead.
I like Disruptor. I know he's his third time. I just think this race is Todd's Pletcher's. I like the rider on Disruptor. And although he lost his first race, I think this horse is a gun runner, bought for quite a bit of money. And I'm gonna say that I looked at the way he ran out the last time. Last time he ran out really well. And I'm going to throw at that first race. So I'm going with the 4 here. I just like this. I like this stretch out from 7. I like what he did. He really listened to his jockey, and Irod stays with him. He's got great workouts, and he's razor sharp at the moment. So that's my decisive play. I mean, we'll go with some more others that you like.
Yeah, go ahead.
I did like the 4-horse. Of course, you can't throw out the 8-horse Matticat Road. Bob Baffert's always dangerous. I think you have to play that horse. Of course, Sovereignty is a good, but I just think the post, it was set up for Sovereignty in the Fountain of Youth, it was just set up perfectly for that horse. The fractions were tremendous. I thought the fractions up top were really tremendous. Don't you think?
Yeah, excellent closing kick.
Yeah, I mean,
Covers a lot of ground.
he had
his big
it
kick.
set up. He had it set up just the way he wanted it to. He had it set up just the way, he needed that setup. That's what I think,
He beat the other Pletcher, nailed him right at the wire.
So I
River
think
Thomas or River Thames, that 6 horse.
And Manny Franco was not my favorite rider. I hate to say it. I don't like him. I don't like him as a rider. But
No, he's taken over for Alvarado here, who's hurt right now.
So who pushes? So who pushes with the numbers here? So you point that out again, because you're really great at this. Who stands out to you here?
Okay, by the numbers. Okay, I actually led. I think because now this is not just the numbers; it's the pace scenario. I see 4 horses that are going to be
right. Okay, good idea.
Out up front.
Right.
The ones that's coming in. My top choice is number 10, Sovereignty, who I really didn't like until I took a closer look at him at his last race again, and how his campaign, his Kentucky Derby campaign's been going. He's been getting faster and faster every single race. Now he's coming off 2 straight victory. Now the thing is, this is a 100-point prep race, and he's already clinched a Derby spot. He already has 60 points. So for you Derby players or future players, and your horse is on the bubble and you might not get in, root like hell for this guy that tend to win this race, because he already has a spot sewn up, and that'll open up a spot. The 100 points will go to him, which are meaningless to him. He'll be there anyway. Gives your guy a shot to maybe sneak in there with one of the other prep races. So that's the thing here. He's in there as a warm-up race, 100-point race, and his thoroughgraph number is 1, which is the lowest of any of these in here, with the exception, Robert, of your number 4, which comes off a 2 last race, fast as hell. So those are the 2 numbers, fastest thoroughgraph guys in this race, 4 and 10. But 4, of course, has the speed edge, and he's going to, in the 10, he's going to have to close into it. And what concerns me about the 4, leave out at your own risk. Irad Ortiz and Todd Pletcher, leave out at your own peril. He's never run in a stakes race, and has 2 7-furlong races. And now you're asking him, you're asking him to go 1 mile and 1/8. Gun Runner certainly has the breeding for this thing, out through the roof for Tomlinson numbers for the distance. And are you concerned about no stakes experience and only 7 and no race over 7 furlongs and 2 tries?
Todd Pletcher. All I'll say is Todd Pletcher. Todd Pletcher puts him in there for a reason.
Yeah,
could be wrong, but I'll leave him in my picks. I mean, I'm not going to discount. I'm not going to not use Sovereignty, and I'm not going to not use Manicat Road. I'm going to use Bob's horse too.
I'm not going to use. I don't even have Bob's horse in my top.
Do you go?
I don't even have him in the top 4 here.
All right. So explain to me why he's not a good horse.
I think he's gonna get a lot of pressure. I think he likes to go to the front. I think he's a very solid horse, and he's all but got a Derby spots. Now, here's the thing about Manicat Road.
How's his numbers?
Thoroughgraph numbers, they're too slow compared to some of the others.
Okay, thank you very much. I agree with you.
Let me just show you what I'm talking about here for a second.
Go with your gut, man. I'm glad, because I'm going to take him out. My picks. I'm going to go with you.
Well, here's the thing. We're going to look at the pace charts first. The pace chart. I'm going to bring this up because I think it's very important for this race. You see it, the bar graph going across. I'm going to bring it up right now. Okay, present. Here it is.
Okay, hold on. Let me. No, I don't want the bar graph. I want that number thing that you had. That I understand that. This here is a bar, and it's a
Okay,
graph.
here now,
Give me
Nyquist.
that page that you had. That middle page with the
This
middle.
one?
The one with the numbers that you say the lower number is the lower the number.
Okay. But I will point this out: the inside horse, Nyquist, the one with the bar, his opening quarter time, if you take the run-up time included, was 21.4 seconds, and you can see he has the bar graph. He's fast as hell. He's running 22.37, 22.30, and on this track, Gulfstream track. Now, if you go to Medakit Road, who likes to go to the front, he ran 22.36 last time, 23, 20. And you see, if you go, he's number 8. You can see he's on the bottom tier. You got others. Tappan Street has run quick. Your Disruptor has run quicker early fractions, 22.28, 22.21. So I think this one, Medakit Road, who runs such fast fractions, he's going to have work cut out for him. But now if we're going to go down to the other numbers you're talking about, the sheet numbers, the lower the number, the faster the race. Let me bring you up. Here's your 2, your number 4. Now he's sprinting. When you're sprinting, you have a lighter number. A bold number is a mile or over. Like you see this one, the 3 has an 11 and a 16 there. They're bold.
Yeah.
See them? Now the 2 and the 8. Now the 4 has a 2 and an 8. That's because it's a race under a mile. So it's not bold, but the number is still relevant. And his last race was a 2. Okay. So now we're going to go down a little bit. Now we're going to go to the others. We're going to show you Medakit Road. He's coming off a 2 and an 8. Now the one I talked about with the inside speed on this track, running the 22 second or sub 22 seconds, he's coming off a 4 last race. And he came in, he's breaking from the rail at mile 16th, and he's getting 8, and in his last 2 races, 8, then 4. So he's coming off a fast race. Now he's the speed of the speedies on the rail. Now you got your other one, the 4 is a 2. He's faster. Is he going to carry that speed going a little bit longer, stretching out? Gun runner. He has the breeding for it. You could see he went there in the sales price, 1.15 million. Fletcher. Yeah. Now we're going to go down to Medakit Road. We're talking 2s and 4s. And Medakit Road is number 8. His race is 7.777. Significantly slower.
I see.
Charts compared to the others.
Keep going down.
Okay.
And
he's on the bubble. He's actually tied right now with I think he's just about going to I think he's tied with Poster in the point standings at 18th with 31 points. So this is an important race for him. He's going to have to probably finish 3rd to cement the spot in the Derby. And I don't think it's a guarantee he's going to get that. And now we're going to go down to Sovereignty. Look how he keeps getting better. Look at his numbers. 9, 6, 5. And then he ran here at Gulfstream and runs a 1.3. They have a point, point, like it's almost 1.5. It's a 1.3, a 1. So he has the fastest number of them all. And he's come off back-to-back victories, and he keeps getting faster. 9, 6, 5, 1. Bill Mott, Trainer of the Year, out of Into Mischief. He seems to know how to. He's spreading this out. Starts his campaign at Saratoga.
Still has to get it. Has to get the proper scenario. No,
but I think he might get it is because you have other speed horses in here, like the one you go is going to run to the lead for the lead. And Medakit Road, even though his third graph numbers are slower. He has that early pace.
Yeah,
so he's going to send him like a shot. So 1 and 8 are going to be fighting, and your 4 has early speed. Hopefully, they lay him off a little bit. And the other one, Tappan Street, that one he's also coming off of 4. He has early speed. Brad Cox. This one, so potentially you have 4 horses fighting for the lead. I'm certainly not going to single 10. Who would I use in this race? I think I'd go 3. I think I'd use 1, 4, and 10 here. I'd leave the 9 out of it. I know the 9's going to take money. Brad Cox, he only has 2 races, and he's in a position where he's going to have to do some damage. He's going to have, if he doesn't finish at least second, he could kiss his Kentucky Derby dreams goodbye because he doesn't have enough points. I think he's sitting at 10 right. Let's see, he came in second in the, yeah.
You really think
he's sitting at only 10 points.
You really think the 1 horse, huh?
Well, the 1 horse, I like the early speed.
I'm throwing one out. I'm not going to play the 1.
No 1 for you?
No 1. Florida bred. No good.
No good?
No good for me.
I think if he's the speed and it's the fast track, I'm definitely using 10.
This is a mile and an eighth, Alan. A mile and an eighth. Use them. I know you got to go with your gut.
No. He was there. He was there. No. It's a mile and an eighth. But you know what? I'm almost inclined to use the. Let me get this off the screen. It's throwing me off. So I got to see the other shot too. Okay. Now I'm going to the Brisnet now. And the pace scenario here with the 1. And the 1, I think the distance is going to be a problem. Really doesn't have the distance, the breeding for the distance. He is a bit of a, I don't want to call it this, but it is what it is. Call a spade a spade. It's kind of a cheap horse or underdog horse. Let's put it that way. 22K horse, whereas you're talking that's pocket change for Disruptor, the number 4, 1.15 million. A beautiful horse. You know what the 1 would be a great fit for? The Pat Day Mile, a mile race. He has that big early speed.
Well, I think if you were going to play an alternative horse, you might want to play the Tappan Street. How's his numbers?
Well, he's my 3rd choice. Here are my choices. His numbers, he's coming off of 4 on the Brisnet.
I don't care he lost. I don't care he lost that race. He's not a bad horse. I'm watching his race now. He's not bad.
What I like about him is this. He did show an ability to close a little bit last race, and he did have a good middle move in the Holy Bull. And he has run both his races at this track. And he has Cox and he has Luis Saez, who's ridden him both his starts.
He's 4 wide here, that's for sure. He's 4 wide on this here. Not the best.
I think he gets
the best of, but he gets the 9 hole again.
Here's the thing: I'm definitely playing against Medacket Road. He's an out. Now, if you see my sheets here, how I have these set up, you can see, how I have them.
I like this move he made. I mean,
you can see my horses who I have listed in order.
By Burnham Square, but he made a beautiful move on that turn.
10, 1,
Beautiful
9.
move on that turn.
And I
wouldn't throw him out. I would consider this horse.
Well, you know what I like about him? I think the pace might set up and he's going to be fast enough that he can stay close.
Yeah.
The more I'm looking at this and the 1, I'm a little concerned about the 1 in the distance. And that's one of the good things about looking these over and not just doing it once on race day. I'm seeing some things now as we talk about it. And you mentioned his distance. He is distance challenged. And we saw that he did the slight fade at a mile and a 16th last time, and this is a mile and 1/8.
Well, you got to go with your gut, Alan. Don't go by me,
No, but it makes sense. I would. Otherwise, I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't just change my pick to, to make somebody agree with somebody else.
No,
but this makes 100% sense. Yeah, he doesn't seem to have. I think the distance is going to be a problem.
You're a better handicapper than me. That's
we have a different game, and we're both solid, rock solid, man.
So
I'm using 10, and I am kind of sold. I think the 9 has a little bit of time into this race, and at this age,
He's learning.
Just
learning.
over 3 years old. He's going to be matured. I have 9 as my third choice. Okay.
I mean,
And I'm
Slayer's
also
going to
one,
ride him the
proactively
right
now
way.
he moved to my second choice. My question is this at this point, personally, do I go 10? Do I use 10, 4, 9, 10? Or do I just use 9 and 10? Because I'm having a hard time moving past the 4, having no stakes experience and no mile experience and no, only
No, I
2
know.
races.
I mean, we discussed this already, and 9 times out of 10, you're right. You're right. 9 times out of 10, I remember the same scenario. I personally think that you could do what you said. You can do what you say, but my thing is how much more is it going to cost us in that 2010 pick 3? Can we computate that?
Yeah, we will. We're going to save that for the end.
Okay, but I'm just saying, how much more will it cost us to put the 4 in? Because I think you're right. I think you're right with this stretch out, but it's just Todd Pletcher. He's a gun runner, and I don't know what we're going to
That's
get.
the whole thing. He has the breeding, and they're facing, and it's not just this race. It's not just this race. It's in the other race, the Arkansas Derby. They're facing the same thing. What's going on in the Arkansas Derby? Bob Baffert has a favorite, a 7-5 morning line favorite. He only has 1 career race, and it's a sprint race at 6 furlongs. No stakes experience, but his numbers were so big, just like your 4 horses here, and it's lone race, that he's a 7-5 favorite over other horses like Coal Battle and Speed King and a host of other horses that are stakes tested.
I remember
one stakes is what would you do when they're saying, well, it's Bob Baffert, the horse this one costs 1.1 million running tomorrow, and he's a 0 thoroughgraph number, which is better than everybody else in the race. It was a sprint race. I mean, would you use him? I mean, a horse like he's fast as hell, and he's out of into mischief too.
What Disruptor did here in this race, Disruptor was 4 wide. 4 wide. And I like what he did. He chilled, he relaxed, and when he had to turn it on, he turned it on. So I'm not worried about distance with this horse.
He got the breeding for it.
I'm looking at this race now, and he's just really nice and relaxed in his area. He's really coming off a 45. He's 45, and he's just accelerating. He shows him the whip. He gives him a shot. Shows him the whip.
This is what we were expecting last time.
Yeah, that's what you were expecting last time. He's not bad. Not bad. I don't think I don't know. I like what he did here. That's all I'm saying. These horses are young, but you're right about that one thing. You're moving up from a maiden special weight to a stakes race, and that's what makes me be prudent about saying that he's going to win this race. So you're right, because I remember the same scenario last time we were together.
So what I'm leaning here, and just for what I'm leaning here is this, and I'm going to decide. I'm going to weigh it out. 9 and 10 are my top choice is 10. My second choice is 9, based on the pace. I think the 10 will be a good enough sovereignty to get it done in this race.
I think you're right on that.
And I believe 4 has probably a better chance to win than I don't know, for 9, 10. But I have 4 in a bracket. I'm going to see what this costs. I'm either going to go 4, 9, 10. I'll say for the skinny pick 6 right now. I'll say 9, 10. But consider the 4. And come race time, I may add the 4 in. So
let's figure this one out.
Okay, so we'll begin by taking a look. I got my horses on the left here, and now let's see. I know we're both on 1, 3, 4 in the first leg. We agreed on that, and in the second leg, who did you have? I think we had 2 and 6, 2, 6, 9, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Oh, the first leg you like the 1?
No, wait a second. I just have 3, 4, 3, 4.
Right, Alan, get it right.
And well, look at there it is for you people. I'm not just saying that. There it is. Those are the ones I had underlined. The
3,
1 is my
4.
third choice, so I think it might be interesting.
That's 2. The second leg you like?
Okay, second leg 2, 6, 9, and I know we were on that. Okay,
So that's
3,
2
4.
times 3 is $6 for $1, right?
And this is yeah, and then we'll divide it by 5 at the end because you can play it for 20 cents.
Right. So now you got.
Now in this next race,
I said
I'm on. You're on. Okay, and I got the 4 box. I think that's the one I'm taking a stand on there. What's his name? Knightsbridge. That is the 4. Okay, so we single there, so we don't gain any ground. Now I got 4 in the next race. 4, 6, 7, 12.
Right. Is 6 times 4, 24, right?
Yeah. And I know you got the same ones there. We might differ on the last one, but the multiplications, we'll see. We'll get a good choice here. Okay, 4, 6.
13th race, 6, 9, 11 I have. What do you have? Race 13.
You got 6, 9, 11. I'm going to keep it thin. I'm going to go 9, 11.
Okay.
4, 6, 7, 12. Okay. See, 3.
So 24 times 3 is 72. 72.
Okay.
Now race 14.
Okay. You're at 72, and I'm at 48. No, 6.
4, 9, 10 in the last leg. You got 2 horses, but I have 3.
Okay, I may add the 3
7.
because I'm really intrigued by that 6.
What do you
Okay,
mean?
now you have okay,
last leg
okay,
you
the last race you have 3 horses. You have 4,
4?
9, 10.
Yes. So that's 72 times 3.
Yeah, it's 216 divided by 5. You were talking a rainbow 6 of 43,
So
20.
no, that's more than 43. That's for $1, right? So you got to divide it by 4.
Okay. Well, it depends what you're playing it for. 72 times 3
20
is
cents.
216. That's 216 divided by 5. That would come out to 43.20.
What about you? You're not playing the 4 in the last leg.
I might, but let me check.
$3.20. I'll play it. It's only 43.20. I have to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. I love you.
Okay, love you. I'm going to pause it, Bobby.
All right, pause.
Okay. Okay, we're just about ready to wrap this up. I'm looking at this here. I am going to, in the 10th race, in the 14th race, I'm going to make a stand on this. I'm going to leave out the 9. 9 is, and 9, I know he has his Kentucky Derby entry on the line here. He's going to need those points, Tappan Street. 2 starts. I don't like how he finished the last race after getting the lead and then eventually losing. 2 races. So 9 Tappan Street, I'm passing on that. And I'm going to stick with the gun. Sovereignty looks like the fastest one in here by the last race. And the other one that's just a really big number, Sheets number last race, you got Pletcher, Irad Ortiz on number 4, 1.1 million, 1.15 million out of Gun Runner. Geez, wind's going away over 9 lengths. Can't leave this out. has the breeding to go longer. I know it's his first stakes race. It's first route race over. It's the longest race is 7 furlongs, but I can't leave him out. I'm going to go with him. Mike Rapoli, the owner. You got the connections. You got the breeding. You have El Pletcher. You got the jockey, Irod. The top owners. I mean, you got everything lined up here. I can't leave this horse out. It kind of reminds me of the Baffert favorites, who's favored in the Arkansas Derby, Cornucopian or whatever. Didn't have that kind of experience. This one doesn't either, but has the talent. So 410 for me and Bobby. I think you said you okay 410. So we're pretty much set up there. So I think we and you're on 410 as well in the final race.
I'm on the disruptor, yes.
Yes, okay.
I want to just point out, you've been correct all year. I do like your red shirt for the Run for the Roses also. I thought that was a very conceptual theme that you chose that. I just want to point that out. I also want to say that that the 4, yes, we're asking a lot for a horse to stretch out. But why throw – I mean – it's happened to us all many a time. I remember us playing a grass race and the same sort of situation. Never stretched out, but he had a speed. But whatever. There was a few times here at Gulfstream that I might have went with horses that were stretching out, and it didn't work. But why not try to take a shot with over $1 million horse, Mike Rapoli? You got a great rider. He showed he can rate the last time, so. It's not out of the question that perhaps the 10 horse gets a bad trip and so we would have a secondary would be the 4. So
yeah, and you can I think I'd be more relaxed. I know I'll be more relaxed watching the 4. If everything came down to just one horse, the 4 or the 9, I'd be a lot more relaxed watching the race with the gun runner bred. With Ortiz up and Pletcher in the barn, and over the 9, where you're like, oh my God, is he going to find the right trip or whatever? I feel very comfortable with those selections in the last race. So to summarize it here, and great job on spotting that 6 in the 13th race. And so we'll summarize we've come up with between the two of us here, we've come up with the Rainbow 6. So we put together what we see are our best shots. We looked them over, and I'll summarize it race by race, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and the total cost. In race 9, we have 3, 4. In race 10, we have 2, 6, 9. Race 11, we have our single. Knightsbridge. That's Knightsbridge. And in race 12, we have 4. That's our spread race. 4, 6, 7, and 12. In race 13, we have 3 horses, 6, 9, 11. In race 14, we have 4 and 10. And that rounds out to a total of, what did we say that was?
$28.80.
That comes out to $28.80. You could always add some in there, but
if you wanted to do something that's interesting, you also could take the 4 horse out of that last leg and play a couple of because that 4 horse would be the single. So I don't know what this would be with that one. What would it be computed with just a 10 horse, Alan? Well, I can do it. I have a calculator here. So we have 2 times 3 times 1 times 4 times 3. And
I'm going to pause it just for a second. All right, so we got a pick 6 here together. We got it. All the selections. You want to go back. You may want to listen to this again. May want to make sure you have a pen when you write this stuff down, so you have all the numbers here. this pick 6, Rainbow 6, which we put together, 28.80. And Bobby mentioned also that if you really wanted to get cheap, or not cheap, but if you really wanted to cut corners, you might want to think about, since 10 seems to have a nice edge in the last sovereignty in the last race, you could turn it into a 1440, but we're not going to do that. We're not that brave, especially since the 4. What's the name of the 4? Disruptor?
Disruptor.
Yeah, 4 looks very dangerous with the breeding and the ownership and the trainer and IROD. And you can't leave out of your own peril. Not worth the extra $14 to try and save $14 and miss out on losing thousands, right? So yeah, 28.80 for this Rainbow 6. Robert, thank you so much again for joining me tonight.
Thank you,
Putting this together. It's been an absolute blast, and fingers crossed that we're able to bring you some big winners on yet another show for the Florida Derby Day.
Bet with your head.
Robert?
Bet with your head, not over it. Have fun. Do your best and have fun. Don't go crazy. Play $28. Play $14. Play what you can afford, and it's the strategy that we enjoy. I know you enjoy the strategy. I enjoy breeding. You enjoy the numbers, and I'm very bad at math, so I don't enjoy numbers. I enjoy watching. I'm a visual person. I'm in a visual business.
Hey,
So,
I'll tell you, that's another of the beauties of this game. You could be a winning handicapper and have a totally different strategy or totally different strength than others. I know some players that only go by body language of the horse. They only bet on horses, and that they're race by race players, but they body language. They don't care what the numbers are. They don't care whatever. They look at it. You're a trip handicapper, breeding.
yes.
And I'm a lot more of the numbers. We all use all of the same stuff. Some of them just use more of one than another. And you can, depending on your strength, if you're a player, find out which one of those strengths you're really good at, and go make some money and have fun with it. Yeah.
There you go. Thank you, Alan. Thank you for inviting me on your show.
You're welcome. A pleasure. And thanks again for joining us. And I want to thank all of you, the viewers. Thank you so much for joining us, and have fun. Like Robert says, with your head, not over it. Have fun. Enjoy the races. Win big. And remember, may the horse be with you.